Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm good. Blake, how are you?
Good. I guess first, I'm unclear on how it works. So, is Iowa for you? Are they the enemy? Do you root for them for state allegiance? Were you rooting for UConn with the Canadian tie-in? How'd you feel about that game earlier? If you caught any of it?
No, I'm a big fan of all the Iowa schools. You know, where I'm from, it was probably a time in my life when you go to Northern Iowa, the mid-major amongst them, that you don't like them very well for a few years while you're there, and you compete against them, and a few years after that lingers. But then you root for all of them to do well. Um, I've been kind of following the Iowa women's team. I didn't get a chance to watch much today because I was prepping for practice and for the game, but I was trying to follow the score a little bit. I know they've got a great young player that made a lot of had quite a moment with everybody around, seeing some of the shots she hit in the game to get there. Obviously, Gino's become a good friend of mine as well, and I've talked to him quite a bit here and recently. I didn't wish him good luck today, but he probably understands that. It was okay, but good season for Iowa, and it should be fun to watch that freshman Caitlin.
Yeah, it was a really fun game.
Yeah, for her to go. I think it looked like it by the score. Looked like they kept trying to get away and never really did till the end.
Yeah. On your guys' front, Paul and DeAndre listed as out again for tomorrow. Do you have any sort of update on them? Is it the same situation as the last time with the last five guys, or?
I wouldn't say it's the same. I think there's some differences in there, Blake. I'm not really allowed to discuss what those are, but I would say, to answer your question, it's not the same.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
We'll go to Steven.
Hey, Coach. We're going to speak to Rodney today. So I just want to know, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I just want to know, what does Rodney bring to the team? And also just like he came off that Achilles injury from last year, and does he look like he's all the way back to you in the short time you've seen him?
Yeah. I mean, I think that was probably one of the big concerns, Stephen. I think that I don't know what he's going to bring to our team. I kind of know what his game is and what I hope he can bring, and maybe we can bring him along and stuff. I think he's a pretty smart player. He's got some size, can make some buckets, both at the rim and at the three, and in between a little bit too. Think he's got some good athleticism, and that looks good to me. Like, I don't see any. I watched a ton of film of him after we got him, and that was one of the things everybody kept saying. Well, he hasn't really been the same since the Achilles thing, and I didn't notice any of that. He goes up pretty high for rebounds. He looks like he's moving side to side good. I think, even the medical aspect of it checks out really strongly, right? Listen, I think that he gives us a wing with some experience. He gives us a versatile player. He can guard kind of, 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe, because he's got some size, whatever. He puts us in a chance to switch. I don't know. I think he's got some understanding of the game. I don't want to say a whole lot. I've only seen him all of one game and one practice, but I do like his attitude, and I like what he's shown so far.
And then obviously tomorrow might be a little weird, coaching against Norm for the first time. How strange would that be? And do you have any special tricks that you've been saving to possibly slow him down?
It will be strange. It's kind of, sometimes they make that joke and say, "Is that too soon?" Feels like it's too soon, to be seeing Norm coming in here against us, barely really over him being gone. And I don't know if I have any special tricks or not, Stephen. I just hope we can, I don't. Again, we're going to do our best to try to defend all those guys. It's just, he certainly had a good game. I saw. Well, I saw most of it this afternoon. Played really well. It looked like he's stayed hot. He went right from here to there and stayed hot. So I'll dig into it a little bit more game plan wise and see what we can come up with.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
You're welcome.
We'll go to Mike Ganter.
Hey Nick, how are you?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Good, thanks. I want to ask you about Malachi and the development and developing in this year in particular. I mean, he's probably going to get maybe even get more minutes than he might in a normal year, but he's also not going to get the practice time that he would normally get in a normal year. Where do you stand on it? Is he getting the short end of the stick here, or could this actually be, beneficial for him?
Well, I would say he probably got the short end of the stick already, right? I would think that if I would have had my way, or we probably would have had both of us, me and Malachi, or the front, we'd all had our way. He probably would have played about 40 games in the D League.
Yeah.
And then I think that was good for him down there. And I think, can't really remember. I think it was Kyle, I think, that went out and we thought he was going to be out for a little bit longer. And so we pulled him out of there and he never got a chance to go back. I think that would have been really good for him, playoff down there and all that stuff. But I don't know, I really want to develop him, right? Yeah. I think, we've asked him to kind of do some things and he did them last night, right? I thought he had a good assignment with Payne. He picked him up, he pressured him, he turned him over. He ended up on Chris Paul, guarded him in the post pretty well there. A couple times, he really fought him and battled. He ran down a couple rebounds. I mean, I've just asked him to bring some energy, make sure we're organized on get a little dirtier, get on the floor, knock some people around, do some things like that. And he did those things. And I think, it's early days for him, and he just needs the court time to kind of get his groove and feeling a little more comfortable out there, getting used to the speed of the game and making some plays. I think he's a guy that's got plays in him at both ends of the floor.
Do you worry about him getting frustrated when the ball's not going in for him? I mean, I know offense.
Listen, I think he is a shot maker. Yeah. Mike, I think that'll be there for him. I'm probably more interested now that he's organizing us and maybe even creating. I'd like him to play that screen and roll and start finding the roller some and finding the weak side some and again getting us started and making sure that group he's with is clicking through the offense with a good pace and a good good togetherness and stuff like that. And that's kind of the point guard's job. And then again, I want him to be, he's got hands and he's got feet and he's got some toughness. So I want him to use those things on the defensive end.
Got it. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
Yep. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. We'll go to Takeshi from O Media in Japan.
Hello, Coach.
Takeshi, how are you?
How are you? Very nice to meet you again.
Yeah.
So, the other day you told me that Utah needs some adjustments in his offensive game. Mm-hmm. And what do you see in his adjustment to the team's offensive needs?
Well, I think that he's got to be able to read what's available for him, right? I think that he's a little. I mean, naturally he's unselfish and he's a good cutter and he'll drive it and kick it out and he's a good passer and things like that. But he's got to sometimes he's got to take the opportunity to put the ball in the basket, right? And I think that he's getting in some of those lately. Hasn't played all that much lately, but there's times when he is getting by his man and getting to the area where he needs to figure out a way to get it in the basket rather than fire it out, because the defense is kind of expanding back and it's a one-on-one situation in this league. You got to be able to score those. I mean, it's not really, we're not asking him to be a huge scorer. We're just asking him to make the opportunity plays that are in front of him. He hasn't got a great opportunity lately, but you know, it doesn't mean he's not going to. I think there's, as some things continue to shift with us, I think there'll be an opening here. Well, I would say as early as tomorrow, probably, to find him in the rotation with some certain guys and see what it looks like.